home game, does it seem like it's gone by fast?
This year?
Yeah.
No. Not at all. Some years do fly by. This one's had a little bit more. There's been some weeks I wish would have gone by a little bit quicker than other weeks, but it's still been a fun year. I mean, I'm not saying that at all, but there's been more going on this year, and certainly the last regular season game is upon us, and it always goes by fast. But it seems like maybe this year, maybe not quite as fast as some prior ones.
Bill, does it give you more of an edge this year in postseason, the fact that you didn't win the tournament, and being able to kind of this team making its own mark later?
You know what, Dave? I don't know. I've always thought we were pretty motivated going to the tournament. I think of the 14 times we've won the league, I think 8 times we won the tournament, something like that. So, we always said when we won the league, now it's time to go validate what you just did. And we don't get a chance to say that, but I think our guys will certainly be as motivated as they ever have been, without question. But I'm not sure it's going to be more so than past years. We've had some pretty competitive teams in the past that love to win no matter what the situation was, and this team will be fired up. But the one thing about tournaments that's so good is it's new life for everybody. It's a fresh start. Everybody has a chance. Everybody has an opportunity, and so and people are playing for high stakes, even though we could be playing for a seed, another team could be playing to validate, another team could be playing for entrance into the tournament or for postseason or in some form or fashion, whatever. So everybody's got something to play for this time of year.
Do you think Doak will be a better player having that plate in the hand he can get by simply observing? Do you think he'll be even better next year?
No, I don't see how you can be better by just sitting and observing. Now, if he could do anything with his hand,
right?
He's still got the screw in his hand. He's going to take his cast off, except he can't even take his cast off when he walks to class as long as there's ice on the sidewalks. Yeah. Because there's always a risk that he could slip or do something. So it's, absolutely zero contact. The only thing he can, as of today, the only thing he can do with his cast off is walk. So I don't see how guys get better. Now they could get better because of, and he's limited in the weight room. There's so many things that he has been so limited on that it'd be hard to get better. I think what you'd be hoping for, Tom, would be maintaining. But he'll be a better player next year than he would have been this year, not because of that, just because he'd be a year older and he's still real young. But I doubt we're going to get a chance to witness that, though.
Do you even visit with those guys about that already?
No, no, I haven't talked to one person about anything past this season at all. I will when the season's over, but it's no reason to do that right now, in my eyes.
What sets the Fieldhouse apart on game day?
The field, we get a lot of credit for having the best home court, and we do. And there's 2 reasons why we have the best home court. Is because we're closer at capacity every game. Okay, that's and there's a history of that. But B, everybody talks about a home court, and it takes away from, well, we've got really good players. The best home courts are the ones that have the best players playing on it. The hardest places to win are the one where you go against the other teams. Other teams got a better 5 than you. Those are the hardest places to win. And I give our fans, and I always do, give them a ton of credit for being the 6th man and help pull us through. But we've had some pretty hard rocking cats out there over the years as well. So I don't think it's just based on the fact we're playing in Allen Fieldhouse on James Naismith Court. I think that's part of it, but I also think we've had some pretty good players too.
Had some really good teams obviously slip up and maybe lose a game here, but what would it mean for this team to pull off kind of a perfect record at home?
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we can look at as motivation to be able to run the table at home, and we put ourselves in opportunity. Last year we lost 3 at home last year, and that was a Final Four team. Lost 3 at home, and if I'm not mistaken, the last home loss was it Oklahoma State or was Texas Tech? It was Oklahoma State. So to think that right now, I don't know where we rank nationally, for the longest home winning streaks? We're third in the country right now. What's the longest one?
26, Tennessee.
Tennessee, and what are we at?
20.
We're at 20. So to think in just 1 year that we could be the third longest winning streak at home is pretty good. Now we've won, what did we win, 69 one time straight at home, and so we've had some pretty good runs. But for this team to run the table would be great. And Baylor has been, they've been nipping at us pretty hard the last several games we played them at home. They've always come ready to play, and Scott's done a great job this year. They had a tough loss last night, but he's done a marvelous job considering all this crap they've dealt with too. But yeah, that would mean a lot for this team to run the table at home.
Those two results last night, what is that? I mean, West Virginia and Oklahoma State both win. Just kind of an indication of what a wild year this conference has been.
Yeah, yes, but it seems like to me it's wild every year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's been a wild year, and I also think that West Virginia is a heck of a lot better than the record, and I think Oklahoma State. I mean, guys, they could have easily won at Tech, even though they played great to put it in overtime. They could have easily beat us in Stillwater, and then that game last night was the same game as the other two. It's just they made all the plays down the stretch and everything. So I think they're a good team. They're a dangerous team, and I don't know how it plays out, but as Chris was just telling me, the only thing that's not decided yet in the pairings for the tournament are the 1 and 2 seed, because you could still have that change, and then the 9 and 10. Is that right? Because you could have Oklahoma State and West Virginia still change based on whatever. So, but other than that, it's pretty well locked in. But yeah, you stop and think about those teams that are playing that first day on Wednesday. Man, those are some good teams.
Are you starting to see David kind of put it together and maybe just build into, it's too early to say maybe a Silvio type finish that Silvio had last year?
Well, I hope so. I get a kick out of you guys when a guy makes 2 baskets and now he's really starting to put it together. He's on a roll. But I thought David played by far his best game offensively against OU. He scored 18 points. I thought they were real points. There wasn't a lot of garbage to it. I mean, he played the way that we hope he'd play. But when you say string it together, to me that's like, having a good, 2 or 3 weeks or whatnot. But I do think he's on an uptick without question.
Phil, how would you compare where Ochai's at maybe a month ago when he had a couple 20-point games and the shots are not falling, but how's his confidence and what do you expect from him?
I actually think that what he did at Oklahoma State, he goes 3 of 8 from 3 when he hadn't made a shot in a week. And then in Norman, although he's 1 of 7, they were all good looks, all shots we want him to take. So I think his confidence is pretty high. I think, he hadn't shot the ball particularly well. I think he was 4 of, what's that making, 4 of 15 last week, which is nothing to write home about, but that's pretty good for a young kid to get off 15 threes in 2 games. So I think there's some positives to that, that he's playing the right way, even if the ball's not going in the basket as much.
Another streak coming up this Saturday. 3 head coaches at Kansas that haven't lost on the last game of the year. Can you just talk about the significance of winning that last game senior day?
Well, it won't have as much significance this year, obviously, since we don't have a player. Legerald's not going to be with us on Saturday, so it won't have as much significance. The thing about senior day is, to me, is that day you forget about, everybody buys into it. You forget about your role. You forget about your own personal expectation. You forget about all that, and you make senior day all about the players that are playing their last game. And that's what I tell them all along. Hey, hey, junior, you may be getting 20 and 10, but your job is to make sure that he goes out in style. I've always said that to all my teams, and I think everybody has bought into that because that is their one special day. But this year's obviously going to be different since we don't have one suiting up. I think it's great to win your last regular season game, and I guess we've done it the majority of the time at home. But we've also not done it when we played at other people's senior day. So it's a fun day. But this year will be different than what it has been in years past.
He won't be there, but can you just reflect on Legerald's 3+ years here? And
well, we won three leagues, and won 10 games in the NCAA tournament in 3 years. You know, there are not too many players out there in the country that can say that. And he's played a role in that, and certainly he got better over time. Yeah, people should remember LeGerald in a very favorable way, no question. And you know, he's going through some stuff right now, which I think he's doing well, and I think it's good that you know, he was able to take care of that and address it, and he's working through whatever personal things that he's got going. So I'm excited for him to be better, however that better is, and for him to, you know, take this as a foundation to still go on and do great things after he leaves from here. And, you know, he'll graduate. I think he graduates next week. I think he finishes his last class next week. He only needed one more to graduate. So I'm excited for him for that as well.
Did he become what you thought he would when you recruited him? I mean, he wasn't a frontline guy, right?
I actually think LeGerald became a lot better than what we envisioned when we recruited him. A lot better. And then after he got real good, then my expectations of that changed.
Yeah.
And certainly I think there were times where he did play to that very high level, and there were times where he didn't. Sure. But that's pretty much the case with everybody. You know, everybody has, you know, good and not so good moments, but he certainly had his fair share of good moments for us.
Considering the late date, is he ruled out the rest of the season?
No, but you asked a good question, Gary. Considering the late date, there's, you know, we're going on a month, so you know, there's not a lot of time to come back, and we're pretty set in what we're doing. But I'm not going to make that decision right now today because I don't know. But I would say with each passing day, you know, it's less likely.
Bill, just big picture, what do you see from your offense right now?
Well, you know, you know, we haven't shot it well of late. I actually think that our offense against Oklahoma was better than what the stats indicated, because we were like 5 of 29 from 3 going into the last 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So I mean, we got and we got a lot of good looks. We just didn't make them. But in order for us to run good offense, we're going to have to shoot a decent percentage from there, because that's what teams are going to give us, because they're going to pack the paint. So I think it's been average. I didn't think it was poor at all against Oklahoma State. I thought we got what we wanted. I would be much more concerned about the other end than the offensive end.
When you talk about that, the postseason, the Big 12 tournament as a fresh start for all the teams, how does that factor in with your guys? I mean, because so many of your guys are experiencing everything for the first time, right? Is that a double reset? Is that an extra good thing, or is it just?
I don't know that it's extra. I don't know that it's good, negative. I don't know that there's anything into it. I do think it helps when you have guys from the past that can talk to their guys about what's getting ready to happen. And we've only got 2 players that even experienced it, and they didn't experience it in prominent role type situations in Marcus and Mitch. So I think it'll be a good reset for us. You know, the big. I'm not going to change my position on this, because the Big 12 tournament is important. It's important for seeding for us. It's not as important as what some people may say it is. Now, that doesn't mean you don't go try to win it in those things, but the, you know, that pales into comparison of the importance of the following week, obviously.
You've coached so many teams that won the Big 12, and they obviously have their different strengths and weaknesses, but any characteristics on this team that you think maybe were the weaknesses that kept them from getting to that level?
Well, yeah, I think that there's, well, first of all, we haven't played the tournament yet. So
I'm sorry, I meant the regular season.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the regular, yeah, I think there's some reasons. I think maturity is one. I think distractions is another. And, you know, those are things that you don't really change. The distractions we had, I'm not sure you can eliminate those. Now, if it was distractions on judgment, things like that, then that's another thing you can eliminate. But these are distractions, whether it be health, whether it be decisions made by a third party, whether it be, you know, obviously some personal things. those things are hard to navigate and deal with. So I think those are probably reasons why, as much as anything. And the other thing is, guys, our margin for error isn't what it used to be. I mean, going to win on the road is a huge win. Like going to Morgantown up 6 with 2 left, that's what we're going to look back on, or that's what I'll look back on. You know, if you watch Texas play at home, or you watch K-State play at home, or you watch Tech play at home, or Iowa State play at home, or those schools, or Oklahoma. Oklahoma's been, you know, a little bit like this, but even though they handled us the other night, they were a really good basketball team the other night. We would have had to play great to win that game. And if we couldn't play great, or to be in that game, we couldn't play great, we had to make them play poorly. And that's what this team has not done. It's not so much how we play, it's how we make other teams play that probably is the reason why we didn't have a better opportunity to win the league this year, to be quite candid.
You might have referenced this, but Ochai said it the other night after Oklahoma. He said when things go bad, guys maybe start trying to go their own way a little bit more and individual type stuff. Have you seen a ton of that? I mean, is that
all year long?
Yeah.
But that's not selfishness.
Right.
That's leadership. And that's intangibles. That's. I mean, who wouldn't say, okay, if you're got it's starting to fall apart with your business or whatever, and who wouldn't say that they really care about well, I know I can fix this, and so you go try to do something to really help everybody else out, but when you help somebody out that way, maybe it doesn't complement what other people are trying to do. Something that's more what it is. It's relying on each other that I think does come with happen quite often with experience. And some kids are more experienced than others, and I look at our freshmen as no longer freshmen. They played enough where they're not freshmen, but still, yeah, there's some things that they're going through that's still a first for most of them.
What's that say about him that he recognizes it? I mean, is that do most, do all guys recognize that or not?
I would say no.
Yeah.
But Oach is a really bright kid, and he's probably tried to be as much of a leader as anybody can be. But without being remotely negative, you got a guy that's played 12 games this year, and come out of red shirt that wasn't highly recruited, and okay, guys, now come on, Diedrich, follow me. That's a little bit different. But he's trying, and Devon's trying to do it in his own way. Diedrich, I think, is the best we got. Without question, from positive and talking and everything. But even with that being said, this isn't being negative. Frank didn't develop that overnight, neither did Devontae. But certainly we have potential to have one or two of those guys in our midst, but it's going to take a little time.
What do you attribute to Baylor leading the conference in conference games in rebounding margin without Tristan Clark?
Mark Vital. I mean, he's the best rebounder in our league, best offensive rebounder hands down in our league. And you can say Tristan Clark, but Gillespie's had a great year replacing. Baylor's always been a good rebounding team historically, but I do think that they attack the ball about as well as anybody. And when we played them down there, if I'm not mistaken, Vital have 8 offensive rebounds. You guys remember? It was 8, Brad. So I mean, that's a guy that we know can hurt you in a lot of ways. He can do damage as one man could on the glass that most teams do.